Alright, what's happening YouTube? It's the other half 1993 here with another deck profile. As you can see, one that isn't scraps. So I'm just gonna go right in and list out the deck, and then I'll explain all my choices, or in some cases non-choices. As you can see in the plant title, or the plant title, as you can see from the title and just looking here, it's a plant synchro deck, not quick draw. Plant synchro, but I'll go through the list right now. There are 3 Debris Dragon, obviously, 2 Dandelion, 2 Lone Fire, 1 Glow Bulb, 1 Spore, 3 Raikou, Card Trooper, Sangan. Over here we have Treeborn Frog, 3 Caius, 2 Effect Veiler, Gores. For the spells, we have a 1-for-1, 3 Pot of Avarice, Charge of the Light Brigade, Foolish Burial, 2 Book of Moon, Cold Wave, Trunade, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn. Finally, for the traps, we have 2 Bottomless, 2 Solemn Warning, 1 Torrential, 1 Solemn Judgment, 1 Call of the Haunted, and 1 Limit Reverse. Alright, so as you can see, it's got the basic building blocks, the same ones as most other plant synchro decks, but there's quite a few choices I made here that are a bit different from what I've been seeing. I guess starting off with the monsters, Card Trooper isn't really as popular as it used to be in this deck. Or I don't know if it was ever popular, but I haven't seen Card Trooper in a lot of the decks lately. I really like Card Trooper. Just for its milling power, you know, it can put a Dandelion, Glow Up Spore, Treeborn in the graveyard, sets up your Avarice nicely. And when it does get destroyed, it, you know, replaces itself with a drawn card, and it's a good debris target, so that's why I picked Card Trooper. Treeborn. I know Treeborn was popular in Quick Draw, back when the deck used to use cards like Light and Darkness Dragon. So you might be wondering like why I'm using it in here. I like it for a couple different reasons. 3 Caius makes for good tribute fodder. You can use it with either of these 2 to make a Formula Synchron. And it's also an extra star with, if you use Debris to bring back Dandy or Lone Fire, it's an extra star you can use to make an 8-star. Or if you already have the means to make an 8-star, you can make a 9-star, so that's why I like Treeborn. 3 Caius, I feel the deck can support it between Treeborn, Dandy, Raikous, and Sangan for tribute fodder. I feel like the deck has enough means to support 2 Caius. 2 Effect Veiler. I really like Effect Veiler in this deck. It's a 1-star tuner if you really need it. I almost went with 1 Veiler, the 1 Veiler, 1 DD Crow, but I'm not a huge fan of DD Crow. I just think Effect Veiler is better overall. One thing about the monsters lineup you might notice is that there's no Titanial. I don't really like Titanial in this build, just because it's not really needed that much, and it kind of detracts from what the deck really does, which is Synchro and plus with Debris Dragon. I think Debris Dragon is all the boss monster you need. Titanial ends up being just a 28 beater. Plus Titanial is really not that good to draw at all, so that's why I decided to leave it out. 1-for-1. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 targets for 1-for-1, even though you'll probably never get Effect Veilers. And you have enough cards to discard. Treeborn's good to discard. These 2 are good to discard. Dandy's good to discard. And it really does set up a lot of plays. For example, you could 1-for-1, say, discard Treeborn, special Glow Bulb, normal Lone Fire, and you got some combos going there. I preferred Charge of the Light Brigade over Hamster, just because Hamster I really don't like, because it seems more often than not, instead of your opponent attacking into hamster, which is what you want them to do, they'll just set a monster or just not attack your face on monster, and that forces you to flip hamster to use it, which means you'll get a delay on the Raikou, and it's really not worth it. So, plus charge is your milling power, well, some of your milling power. So that's why I just overall prefer it. Let's see here. What else? Everything else is mostly pretty standard. Except for Limit Reverse. Limit Reverse and Call of the Haunted, I really like in this deck, mainly for Lone Fire, because you can Lone Fire, or you can activate Lone Fire, get, say, a Dandelion, then Limit Reverse for Call of the Haunted, get Lone Fire back, and just go off with combos there. Not to mention Limit Reverse is... plus you just have so many targets for Limit Reverse, like these three, this whole first row actually, of monsters, all Limit Reverse targets. So are Treeborn and the Effect Veiler. So, people, you might argue that these two kind of conflict with Treeborn a little bit, but yeah, it's fine. It's not that big of a conflict. So I know there's been some obscure choices, and in the case of Titanial, non-choices with this deck. Mainly what I did with this deck is I decided, instead of looking at a plant synchro build and just building it based off that and testing from there, I decided to just kind of decide for myself what I thought would be good in this deck. Because I actually meant to make a video of, and actually built earlier today, a Chaos Plant Synchro, which is becoming really popular. But I was opening with stuff. I was opening hands like that were, example, like the only monsters were Spore and Chaos Sorcerer, or I would see an opening hand of just Debris and Titanial. And I really just didn't like how the deck drew at all. So I thought, so I thought to myself, I'm gonna build Plant Synchro, and I'm just gonna build off of just what I feel is good and should be in the deck. So, and I think that can be helpful when deck building. I'm not saying net decking is horrible, because, you know, using tier decks is what wins. So it's good to use top tier decks, but that's actually, it's probably one of the best deck building tips I can give is don't be afraid to just try what you feel works. Just because almost everyone is using Titanial, or just because Chaos Sorcerer is getting really popular all of a sudden, doesn't mean you necessarily have to use them. So that's just how I feel about the deck. So that's all for the deck profile. So I'll just give you a mini update here. You might notice that it looks like I'm holding an actual camera. See it shaking and stuff, instead of just the camera sitting still and me putting cards down in front of it. That's actually because I now have, well, it's not a camera per se, it's an iPod Touch, but I now have a portable camera. Instead of before, I was just using my computer here, and I would kind of aim it. See, it's got a camera there. I would kind of aim it down, and that's how I did my deck. That's how I did all my videos, actually, even my duels. And that's honestly why I don't record duels more often. But now that I have a much easier and more portable means of recording, I'm thinking I'm gonna put up a lot more duel videos and a lot more deck videos. So I think that's all I got for now. So let me know what you think about the deck. Any suggestions? I'm always free for suggestions, and I usually respond to everyone who does give me a suggestion, saying whether I'll use it or whether I like the suggestion or not. So yeah, this is the other half 1993. Peace out, guys.